We've all heard some pretty bad takes about Bitcoin, but today I want to show you some of the worst takes, some that have been actually pretty recent, from some of the most important people in the world, the people that are on TV day after day telling you what to do with your money. And we'll look at what's happening today, what's actually happening today, and how bad this looks for some of these investors. If you don't mind, though, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. If you want to trade crypto, check out the link to BYDeFi underneath the video. You can get set up in just a few minutes because they don't KYC. You don't have to give out a bunch of your personal information. And we have this free trading competition going on where you just trade and you get part of this prize pool. Every $1 million that anyone trades under my link adds another $100 to this prize pool. So far we're at $5,000. It's going up every single day. We have about a month left, and we're giving some of this away to random traders. We're giving some away to some of the top traders. So check it out underneath the video. Now is a great time to sign up because we constantly run these, and there's nothing that you have to do besides just have signed up under my link. Also, check out the link to Telegram underneath the video if you want exclusive benefits, if you want early access to videos, extra videos, or to make sure that you're signed up under me. Also, if you're a big trader, you can get one-on-one access to someone that works with BYDeFi to make sure everything is taken care of. If you have any questions, they can answer them for you, and you get access to the whale chat as well. So check that out underneath the video. Let's start with this. Bitcoin's looking great today. Over $120,000 just a few hours ago. It was pushing for new all-time highs. Now we've come down a little bit. I think that's healthy. Yesterday we had such a big day going from 118 to 122. Pretty great day. Today is looking great too. I mean, we're up to 120. I don't think anyone can complain. Ethereum's looking great too, right around 4,300. As I said over the weekend, I would hate to be anyone that's shorting BMNR. It's up 24% today. This is Tom Lee's company. I'd hate to be a shorter of crypto in the first place. Of course, there are some people that have been bearish on crypto over the years, so I thought that would be fun to look at. Okay, this is from CNBC. Bitcoin may not last that much longer, academic warns. Let's see what he has to say. This is a Cornell professor, so obviously one of the smartest people in the world. Let's see what he says.
It turns out that Bitcoin's use of the blockchain technology is not very efficient. It uses a validation mechanism for transactions that is environmentally destructive, that doesn't scale up very well. But there are new technologies that are developing new cryptocurrencies that are using blockchain technology much more effectively. So I think the promise of decentralized finance using blockchain technology is a real one, but Bitcoin itself may not last that much longer.
So does the CNBC host keep this professor in check?
And Dr. Prasad, it's almost impossible to argue with anything you're saying. Thank you, by the way, for the clarity, because people are confusing the skepticism of some of us and the journalistic community of Bitcoin to the skepticism of fintech, and they're completely different things. And I think you're alluding to that as well. But
okay, that's an interesting take. Bitcoin may not be here much longer. This guy obviously very, very smart, but maybe too dumb to understand Bitcoin and the value proposition. It's not just about transactions, right? It's about store value. It's about self-sovereignty. Okay, let's continue. And that's not like this is from 10 years ago. This is from just a few years ago. Let's move on to the next one.
But that leads me to this question about crypto that Benjamin writes in. He says, in 2007 at the USC Law School, Charlie said, "I'm not entitled to have an opinion on this subject unless I can state the arguments against my position better than the people who are supporting it." The question is, does this also apply to your Wall Street Journal article on banning cryptocurrencies? And if yes, would you care to share the arguments against your position?
Well, I don't think there are good arguments against my position. I think the people that oppose my position are idiots. And so I don't think there is a rational argument against my position. This is an incredible thing. Naturally, people like to run gambling casinos where other people lose. And the people who invented this crypto crapo, which is my name for it, and sometimes I call it crypto crapo, and sometimes I call it, well, crypto shit. And
okay, let's see if it gets better from his partner, Warren Buffett.
Well, I shouldn't answer any questions on the subject, but I will. There's all kinds of people watching this that are long Bitcoin, and there's nobody that's short, and nobody wants their windpipe stepped on. I don't blame them. I don't like people who step on my windpipe. But I would say this, that if the people in this room owned all of the farmland in the United States, and you offered me a 1% interest in it, and you said, for a 1% interest in all the farmland in the United States, pay our group, well, let's see, 10 million, pay us this bargain price, $25 billion. I'll write you a check this afternoon, $25 billion, now I own 1% of the farmland. If you tell me you own 1% of the apartment houses in the United States, and you offer me a 1% interest, so I'll have a 1% in all the apartment houses in the country, and you want whatever it may be for it, then call it another $25 billion or something. I'll write you a check. It's very simple. Now, if you told me you owned all of the Bitcoin in the world and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it, because what would I do with it? I have to sell it back to you one way or another. I mean, maybe I have the same people, but it isn't going to do anything.
Now, to be fair, if you did buy all Bitcoin in the world, I'm not sure that's the best option, right? If no one else held it, but let's continue. Does it get better? ECB president, the European Central Bank, says, I have said all along that crypto assets are highly speculative, very risky assets. My very humble assessment is that it's worth nothing. It's based on nothing. There's no underlying assets to act as an anchor of safety. To be fair, at least Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett are in their 90s, and they made tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars for themselves and their investors over the years. And, maybe they should just stay silent about the subject, but they're asked their opinion. They're not going out their way to talk about it. However, academics that are younger seem like they think that they're too smart to ever buy Bitcoin. People in the government or in central banks want to steer away from Bitcoin, or at least they have over time. Maybe they're flipping their script now. But it's interesting because bears sound smart and bulls get rich. Let's look at what's happening now. Trump, who is, I'd say, arguably the most important man in the world, the president of the US, filed an amended S1 for the Truth Social Bitcoin ETF. So they're going to hold Bitcoin directly with Crypto.com as a custodian. So the president of the United States, who, again, you can fight me on it, but he can write up executive orders at any time that make sweeping changes to the government and to global relations. He wants his company to hold Bitcoin for investors. He's buying Bitcoin. He bought billions of dollars of Bitcoin recently. Jeff Bezos, apparently his space company Blue Origin is going to accept Bitcoin and crypto for payments. I'm not even sure who they get payments from, but one of the richest men in the world wants to accept Bitcoin as payment. The richest man in the world, Elon Musk, holds Bitcoin at several of his multi-billion-dollar companies. The largest institutions in the world, Fidelity and BlackRock, are running Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs that are more successful than any ETFs in history. So they're getting more demand than ever before in any of their other ETFs. So you have the most wealthy investors, the most important people, the most important and biggest financial institutions in the world all buying Bitcoin. We have someone that grew his company from $1 billion, $2 billion just a few years ago to now $116 billion. So arguably the biggest increase in market cap percentage in the last few years. Not even arguably, it's the largest of any large company out there. constantly buying more Bitcoin. Of course, they only bought 155 Bitcoin this week for $18 million. That shows you, how crazy things are, that we're saying, oh, he only bought $18 million in the last 7 days. Just a couple $1,000,000 a day of this very scarce asset. But this is small for them. They've acquired 630,000 Bitcoin over the last 5 years. The most important analyst in all the world, I'd say, the most recognizable right now, Tom Lee, who's probably like the Cathie Wood, maybe with less, with better takes, I'd say. The equivalent of the new Cathie Woods, now saying that, Ethereum is the way to go, right? He likes Bitcoin, but he started this Ethereum treasury company as a very prominent analyst. He's putting his name behind BMNR, which is strategically acquiring Ethereum. They bought another 1.32 billion Ethereum, which means I think they're around $4.5 billion right now. And maybe one of the hottest stocks on Wall Street right now. BMNR has been just ripping faces, up 26% today after it was up 30% the other day. It's up 105% in the last 5 days. It's done a 10x since they announced their Ethereum strategy. Actually, more than that, maybe a 15x now. Something like that. 15x. So one of the smartest people on Wall Street that everyone's paying attention to is acquiring billions of dollars of Ethereum. So there are people that want to freak you out, that want to say that Bitcoin's dead, especially when it's down. They want to jump on the fact that crypto is a Ponzi scheme and that it's dead. But when it's up, they just kind of get quiet, don't they? They just kind of go away. People are making life-changing amounts of money in the crypto market right now. Of course, I like to put cryptos in two buckets. One is I want to hold this for the next number of years. I don't care if we go through a bear market because I'm going to strategically acquire more of it. And right now, that bucket is basically just Bitcoin. Maybe something changes my mind, right? Maybe Ethereum or Solana get to that point where enough is built on it and enough real people are using it that I want to hold it for a very long time, and I'm not just using it to make more money and then invest into Bitcoin or other assets. But at this point, nothing else has made that list. On the other side, there are cryptos that I'm just using to, like I said, make more capital, to be able to take profits, to put into Bitcoin, or to put into real estate, or to put into the stock market, that kind of thing. If you want to make more money, you can check out BYDeFi. We've been able to make life-changing amounts of money on this throughout the bull run. We've been sounding the bell that now is a great time to leverage trade. Of course, do your own research. Make sure you're comfortable with the risks, because it's not a free lunch. You have to know what you're doing. I actually just updated everyone in the Patreon with a new move that I was making. Not the Patreon, sorry, Telegram. It's basically Patreon, but it's free. So there's a link to that underneath the video. I just made a new trade yesterday. Of course, if you want to see like the full breakdown on how to leverage trade, I have videos on the channel. Look up My Financial Friend Trading, and you can find those. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts of all these analysts down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.